such as adopting the short and long-term measures, which include the integration of SDGs into the 5-year National Socio-Economic Development Plan, as well as the Development Strategy 2025 and the Vision 2030. Furthermore, there has been an effort to implement the Istanbul Program of Action, with an ambition to lift the country out of the least developed country status in the near future. Although Lao PDR successfully met all the 3 criteria for graduation from LDC status in the second review in February 2021, we still have concerns over the impacts of COVID-19 that may impair Lao PDR's competence to remain on track in all the 3 established criteria. Under these difficult and challenging circumstances, nevertheless, Lao government has continued its effort to implement its 9th 5-year National Socio-Economic Development Plan from 2021 to 2025 that was recently adopted by the National Assembly, while the issue of addressing the economic and financial constraints and the fight against drug was made a national agenda, calling for all walks of life nationwide to effectively implement this national priority. Taking this opportunity, I would like to request the international community to consider their continued support and assistance to the government and people of the Lao PDR, so as to make our goal as well as our national agenda a reality. Mr. President, in the regional cooperation context, Lao PDR has actively participated and contributed with great responsibility under the framework of ASEAN, especially in the maintenance and promotion of peace and stability in the region, to create an environment conducive for the development cooperation of ASEAN member states. In addition, ASEAN has attached the importance on the cooperation for the prevention and response to COVID-19, as well as post-COVID-19 economic recovery, aimed at building ASEAN a community with strong foundation for the future by adhering to the principle as stipulated in the ASEAN Charter in the wake of ever-increasing international integration and interdependence. At the same time, Lao PDR is committed to reducing the development disparity and promoting the intra-ASEAN and inter-regional connectivity, putting all efforts in utilizing potentials within the region together with the external ones in the implementation of the 4th Initiative for ASEAN Integration and the Master Plan for ASEAN Connectivity 2025, with a purpose to create an opportunity to promote infrastructure development, poverty reduction, and sustainable development in the region. On this note, the Lao PDR continues its economic infrastructure development in order to efficiently facilitate the regional and sub-regional integration through various cooperation frameworks. One of the milestone events in the coming months is the inauguration of the China-Laos High-Speed Railway to be held by the end of 2021, which will mark the first ever Lao PDR's railway and the opening of a new era under the vision to transform a landlocked into land-linked country so as to further promote the better facilitation of regional trade. Mr. President, in the midst of the current global situations, which are overwhelmed with complexity, conflicts, and different perspectives, Lao PDR still stands solid on its foreign policy for peace, independence, friendship, and cooperation, as well as on the principles of conflict resolution through peaceful means, and non-interference in others' internal affairs, and always believe that peace and security is the ultimate priority and prerequisites for every nation's socio-economic development. Therefore, negotiations by peaceful means and dialogue with sincerity are pivotal in ensuring peace and cooperation. Isolation, confrontation, and unilateral sanctions imposed on one country bring no benefit for any parties involved and the international community at large. In our continued support, along with the world community, we urge the lifting economic embargo on the Republic of Cuba, aimed at enabling the country to contain the outbreak of COVID-19 and sustain self-development, to be able to carry out economic, trade, and investment cooperation with other countries without any restriction in order to bring about tangible benefits for the people in this country and in the region. The prolonged Israeli and Palestinian conflict over many decades has resulted in great loss of lives and properties for the Palestinians and Israeli, of which it should have been solved by peaceful means. The Lao PDR once again calls for the relevant parties to resume dialogues and mutual trust building for solving the issue, aimed at accomplishing the establishment of two sovereign states of Palestine and Israel, peacefully coexisting under the relevant UN resolution. Mr. President, Lao PDR has attached the importance of addressing climate change by integrating the commitment under the Paris Agreement into its National Socio-Economic Development Plan and the National Green Growth Strategy. From 2000 to 2020, the greenhouse gas emission by Lao PDR has been lowered by 34% in comparison with the baseline emission. Furthermore, the government has presented a nationally determined contribution on climate change to the United Nations, in which it targets to reduce 60% of the greenhouse gas emission by 2030. This is another remarkable step of the Lao PDR in contribution to tackling climate change issue and upholding its commitment under the Paris Agreement. In this regard, Lao PDR sincerely urged all countries around the world to reinforce their efforts to realize their Paris Agreement commitment in order to prevent and minimize the occurrence of severe natural disasters and devastating impacts on our planet. Mr. President, I have a firm confidence that the upholding of multilateralism, conflict resolution through peaceful means, and development cooperation under the UN Charter remain true and relevant mechanism for us to address and battle against the global crisis we are facing, aimed at meeting humanity's common aspiration for a future that all people live in peace and prosperity. The Lao PDR will continue to actively contribute to promoting the cooperation under the United Nations auspices. In this spirit, I would like to reiterate our candidature for membership of the ECOSOC for the term 2023 to 2025. This has clearly demonstrated our utmost determination and readiness to make full and active contribution in the noble task of United Nations. We, therefore, look forward to the support of our candidature from all the UN member states and hope for the opportunity to actively contribute to the work of the Council. Thank you.
On behalf of the General Assembly, I wish to thank the Prime Minister of the Lao People's Democratic Republic for the statement just made. I now give the floor to the distinguished representative of the Sudan to introduce an address by the head of government.
Thank you. Mr. President, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I have the distinct honor to introduce to you a pre-recorded statement of His Excellency Dr. Abdullah Adam Hamdok, the Prime Minister of the Republic of the Sudan. Thank you.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السيد الرئيس السيدات
In the name of God, the Merciful, Mr. President, Majesty, Highnesses, Heads of State and Government, Excellencies, Secretary General, ladies and gentlemen, may peace and mercy of Allah be upon you. It is an honor to address you 2 years after the glorious resolution of December. This resolution, for which all the Sudanese people of all stripes spilt blood, this revolution carried the aspirations of our people for freedom, peace and justice. I wish to congratulate His Excellency Abdullah Shahid for his election to the helm of the 76th session of the General Assembly. Mr. President, we wish you every success. We also wish to see the work of this session bear fruit. We also convey our gratitude to your predecessor, His Excellency Volkan Bozkır, President of the 75th session of the General Assembly. This session is occurring at a time when the serious consequences of the COVID-19 pandemic continue to make themselves felt in all aspects of life. That is particularly true for poor nations. New variants of the virus are appearing, and poor countries are fighting to reassure their people that they will have access to vaccines. The only way to give true meaning to the slogan, "No one is safe till everyone is